Got our solar panels delivered the other day. Moon Pie, you gonna help me open them up? All right, we got a helper. Sagel's not here, so Moon Pie stepped in. Okay, those are my balls.
Well, I don't wanna be on the mic with all these words that I think are right, and I'm a child of details, and when I pin it, it's heads, not tails. Don't you think I lick my wounds, played this game and played the fools? Don't you think that
That must be one of the panels. I guess I just take one of the panels on the box.
Just some more info on these solar panels. They're from Renogy. I bought them all on a package on Amazon, so they came together. There's 4 solar panels. Each one of them is 100 watts. They're monocrystalline, and the package also came with the 40 amp MPPT Rover charge controller.
There we go. Hardware. Look like there's any damage anywhere, and that was the one I'd be most concerned about because that was just sitting on top. There they are. Good. Alright, I'm gonna take the rest of this out. Start trying to put it together maybe inside. See what all came with it. See what else I need to buy. You have power!
Before I started building the roof rack on top, I hopped on top of the van to check and see if there were any places that needed fixing, and sure enough, the previous owner of the van probably hit some low-lying trees, and there were some decent size gouges. So I sanded them up because they'd started to rust, and then I got some more of this Rust-Oleum paint and just gave it a nice coating over top with the primer. And as you can see, the primer's nice and gray, and you can see those gouges there that I just kind of cleaned up. And then a little while later, I went back with the white, the enamel spray, same stuff that I used on the floor, and just covered up the primer and gave it a nice seal just to make sure that any of that exposed metal was covered. It doesn't do a perfect job, but from any sort of distance, it blends in just fine, especially on the roof like this. It looked really nice, and you see it's really windy. Don't recommend spray painting in the wind, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Welcome to the rooftop, where we picked a terrible time to start working on the roof because it's going to rain. So these are what I bought off Amazon. They're really cool, rubber, anti-shock, little double-sided, I don't know what they are, but they're made for air conditioners, for the shaking. So what the Transit has is pre-drilled holes inside here that will allow for a size 8 metric size 8, so M8, and it will fit perfectly in. So this is what I'm going to use to make my my kind of homemade roof rack, a homemade rack for my solar panels. And to stop it from leaking, which is something I'm really worried about, I don't even know if that goes into the van. I've got the little, I don't remember the damn name of this stuff, that you buy for sealing the fan down. So what I was going to do is I was going to put a little bead around this hole and then tighten this on hopefully before the rain comes. And then what I might even do too is once I've done that, I'll put some lap seal just around the edge. But this honestly fits perfectly on here. You couldn't have asked for a better just random buy off Amazon. Goes down the right depth. The circle is the exact size of this circle that came up, so there's really no exposed paint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a bead around. I'm gonna really tighten it down as much as I can. And then if it rains a little bit in a second, which it looks like it's going to, we'll see if it works. So let me go and I'm gonna grab a little acetone and clean up this spot, and we'll seal it down. Oh, hello there. I really don't know if I want to sand that. I don't know if I did that right. A bunch of it came twirling up. But a lot of it stayed under there too, so I don't want to tighten it too tight. Yeah, I'll definitely put some lap seal down there when I start using it. But this looks pretty good. I'm really happy that I bought these. So they have a little give to them. Well, 2 metal bolts on each end of this little rubber grommet. So we'll put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 total. And then we'll fit the aluminum tracks on top. Hello? You're here. So the problem with this stuff is I think it's meant to be pressed straight down, and the bolt gets twisted in. Press it down a little bit more so it doesn't twist up so much, maybe. Seemed to work better. I love the way this looks. This is how you make inexpensive roof racks. Well, they're actually still kind of expensive just because the aluminum's expensive, but you use a cheaper metal if you want to. I was going to use galvanized super strout, but it's heavy and it can eventually rust. And the aluminum angle just seemed a little bit easier to work with. Just drill the solar panel straight into it. Oh, that's the lightning alarm. Might go inside. Bye.
So we are trying to figure out which way we want to place these solar panels. So this is what the framework's going to look like, but the van has like a curve on top. So we're trying to see how we can work around that. So then this is going to be hanging off of that.
Yeah. Well.
Height part, right?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
So we've got this option here of putting them side to side, which will make connecting them a lot easier. But then there's this is going to be not flush with the top of the van. So we have another idea of on each side of the van, but that'll make connecting them a lot more difficult. So I think we're going to make the frame first and then see which way would be best to put these solar panels up.
Yeah. Well, what I could do is I could add all the height on this end and almost give like the whole thing like a little tilt.
Yeah.
So that it's higher on this end, but it's facing that way anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll just know whenever we park to try and park it so that way's.
Is that something you want to like?
Yeah, I mean, most people who mount solar panels mount them at an angle anyway,
Really?
you know? So I took some measurements on the roof, see how far out they were spaced. Then I took my aluminum angle here and I drilled some holes in it. I've got the other one on top already. So that's how it sits. Pretty nice, kind of just what I wanted. You can see, so the idea is do the same thing on this side and then we'll mount the solar panels and run it across. Okay, so I've just installed the passenger side. These cardboard cutouts are the solar panels. So I'm just trying to see how they sit. I've got 2 more of these angles. The distance across from inside to inside is about 56 inches. And these are 8 foot. So if I was hoping that I could just cut one in half and then use it on either side and then have like the third to use as a support across here. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Cut the two at the 56 inch and use it to just to frame these in on either side, and then just drill all the solar panels together. Hopefully that's rigid enough, and if it's not, then I can buy one more piece of angle to support it on the back side. Did some drawings on the back of car desk here. From inside to inside of the aluminum up top is 56 inches, 8 foot long, 96 inches, bolt to bolt 54.5 inches. Now, like I said, I've got 2 pieces of aluminum left at 8 foot. So I'm going to take those and they're going to span from this side to this side. So that's 56 inches. So 56 inches out of an 8 foot drop, 96 inches, gives me exactly 40 inches left. Times 2. 2 drops, 2 40-inch drops. Now, the solar panels are 20 inches wide. Boop. So if I tag up the 2 butt to butt, I can span the length of the solar panels and use that aluminum to give them some extra support. Now the only issue is the 2 butts of the aluminum have to be exact. So instead of being able to bolt them together, I have to weld them together. I don't have welding tools, so I watch some glorious YouTube, same place I've been learning to do everything else. And YouTube tells me that I can use my propane little hand thing here, heat up the aluminum, and then just get the little rod, the little welding rod, and just weld the 2 together, butt to. So we're trying new stuff, and we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna be welding, guys. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for some welding. So I've got my solar panels, my cardboard solar panels lined up. I got the 8 foot aluminum angles cut to the 56 inches. I drilled a hole in either side. So these will, basically the van is sitting like this. I got the 2 racks up on either side already. These will connect them, and then I've got these are the 2 40-inch pieces. I'm going to drill 2 bolt holes on this side, and then these 2 sides I will be attempting to weld together. So we'll see how that turns out.
Oh my god, babe.
There we go. Let me hide the bucket from the wind.
I just don't think this is very safe for you to do, but alright. No gloves, no mask. Just an idiot. Grayson! Kill that bird.
definitely not hot enough. That thermometer has a max read. That's dumb.
So welding these two together ended up not working out for me. I got the right fuel, but unfortunately the regulator I had on top of the can was meant for the propane, and it wasn't putting out enough gas to actually stay lit and keep the metal, get the metal to the proper temperature. I went to Lowe's to check to see if I could buy the correct regulator, and it ended up costing as much as another piece of aluminum angle would, so I just bought another piece of 8-foot aluminum angle.
We're back up on top working on the roof rack slash custom solar panel brackets. As you can see, this has been holding really well. I haven't had any leaks. I've just used a little bit of that sealant that twists on that I showed you. It's been raining like crazy here, and I haven't had any leaks, so that's worked really well. Like we said before, this little separation block here and this one here, it wasn't high enough to take into account the curve on the top. So I bought these smaller ones that have a female side and a male side, and I've just put them on top, so I've got like a little snowman looking thing. It's not ideal. I guess I could get clean with it and try and, like, since it doesn't go down all the way, saw some of it off so it sits flush. But I think I need this height anyway, so I'm gonna put it on and see how it works. And it's perfect. So just enough room there, comes right across. Both these sides down, so it's all hard angles. That way the solar panels can fit perfectly in the corner. All right, well, here we have it. A poor man's roof rack. I mean, it was still pretty expensive, but a lot less expensive than what you can buy. The little grommets, little rubber grommets, I don't think they're called grommets. Anyway, those little rubber things were probably about, I think $14 a pack. Each pack had 4, so like 28 bucks in those. The little ones were, little extended ones I got were a little bit cheaper. They were probably like $8 a pack. 2 of those, that's 16. And then each one of the 8-foot aluminum cuts, angle cuts, were $40 each. No, 60 or 40. So, you know, still a couple $100 in it, just because of the price of the aluminum angle. But all in all, a lot cheaper than some of those $500, $600 for basic ones that kind of are similar to this, and then the nice ones which are well over $1,000. So not bad. All right, so the solar panels are up here. Just got to make a couple cuts. Couple of the bolts, it's uneven because a couple of the bolts are kind of pushing it up. So there's one bolt in the corner, one bolt there, but all the aluminum frame on this is really easy to drill through, so I can just drill a hole right through and let the bolt go through it and let it all sit flush. So I'll make a mark right here for a cut, and then I'll make another mark there because it said these things were 20 inches, but when I measured them, they were just under 20 inches. So that black line there, that's the 80-inch mark. So you can see that each one is just barely under 20 inches and gives about a 2-inch little space there. This is really nice. This looks good. The wiring, all the wires are going to be on this side. We'll put them all together and then send it through back here, because directly below me is where the battery bank's going to be. So looking good. Okay, so I brought the rack off the roof and laid it in the grass. Killed some of the grass. This is probably gonna be dead too. But it's just a lot easier to bolt the solar panels into the bracket when it's down here, upside down. It'd be impossible to do it up on the roof really, so and I'd have to worry about constantly drilling a hole through the van. So what I'm doing here to make sure I don't drill through the solar panels, I'm putting like a little piece of wood here, so whenever I push down and bust through, it'll run into the wood and not into the solar panel. So it's pretty freaking hot. I'm gonna time lapse the last couple of these, and then we'll put it back onto the roof and mount it, and the solar panel will be done. We'll just have to cut the hole in the roof and connect these up. Finally, an overcast day. Whew. So the roof rack solar panels are pretty much totally installed. I'm not sure if I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to put a nut on the back side of this when this is down all the way. I might have to get Sajel, their smaller hands, to help me out with that. But yeah, it looks super good. I'm really happy with it. I guess I could trim up these corners a little bit if I wanted to. Right now I don't really care too much. That'll be like a little touch-up thing we do later, but there it is. Amazon M8 Lowe's angle, and then nuts and bolts, and that's all it took. Probably the whole project cost me under 200. So I hope it helps you.
So you're trying to get Florida Van ready for a little trip. We need to make sure the solar panels are secure before we go. And it's hot. Can I help? Look at him glistening.